Hello to my Capricorns. All right, this is Queen Amun Ra coming to you with your general reading. Let's see. You're going to have a great week. Of course you are, right? Of course you're going to have a great week. Why? Because you set that intention that you're going to have a great day and a great week. So we're going to get into it. So for those of you all who have been with me for a while, you all know we have questions, right? So I don't always mention the questions while I'm doing the reading. So it just sounds like I'm just kind of reading the cards and laying out a story, right? So let me give you the questions. The moon has moved into Gemini, right? So of course, I want you all, if you've been tuned in, we talk about, I read cards for like a Vedic and tropical astrology. That's why you saw a video for Ophiuchus when the moon moved through Ophiuchus. So I address Vedic and tropical astrology. So you may want to find out what your zodiac sign is in tropical astrology and Vedic astrology and watch those videos. You may want to find out what your moon sign is, because your moon sign is just as important as your sun sign, and watch those videos as well. And then also I address the houses. Like for instance, you all rule 10th house, right? So 10th house is all about your career, your life goals, your achievement, public image, the father aspect of things, masculine energy, social status, fame, those kind of things. Like a lot of people could be in the wrong career. They want to know, okay, should I be doing this job? Some of you all could be in the right career, but working around people who don't even know they're in the wrong career. You be working for a manager or boss who don't even know they're in the wrong career, could be making your life a living hell and you not even know it because you haven't pulled your birth chart. So let's get more educated with all of this so that you know, hey, listen, I know I'm in the right job. So maybe that's just something that's like, maybe having that conversation with your manager, just kind of easing that kind of conversation in there. Like if they, know anything about birth charts or anything like that, that could be for some of you all just an enlightening conversation with them. That's not a religious conversation talking about spirituality. Ask them, do they know anything about birth charts? Do they know anything about North Node or 10th house or, MC or IC? You could have just enlightened somebody about something that they feel like. You never know if your manager was looking for their purpose, right? You could have enlightened somebody and that could be a new position opening up for you, because they could say, you know what, I never knew why I was always drawn to something. And that may start them on their journey of finding something. It could have opened up a position for you. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. I don't know who that was for. Could be for somebody. The moon in Gemini. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is the communication and messenger planet, right? And so when Mercury goes retrograde, people hear so much about what you can't do. I try to teach you what you can do. I am grateful for everything. I am is source, the great I am inside of you. Start looking to source within inside of you. Okay. So what can I do? I can pull my birth chart. I can pray about it. Let me pull my birth chart, ask my manager in the workplace. If I'm looking for a promotion, that can start a conversation right there. Hey, have you ever heard about birth charts? What do you think about it? That can start a conversation right there. This is a website where I found birth charts. Your manager can be like, oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh, I pulled mine. I was thinking, oh, I did see some jobs, for me. I'm thinking about looking for something else. No wonder I was always drawn to such and such. And it was you that brought something to somebody's attention. So source is saying you sitting on knowledge that could help somebody find their purpose in life is could actually get you promoted because you spoke up. That's being in your divine masculine energy. After you prayed about something, you've gone to the great I am. That's why you're grateful for everything. And so maybe it took you coming to tarot, learning about your birth chart, or who knows, and saying, oh, okay, I found mine. Let me share that information with somebody. My manager at work, instead of complaining. So inner power, there it is, right? So 511. Somebody may have been stuck or feeling stuck. That color orange connects us with the sacral chakra, the feelings. Somebody could have been stuck in their feelings about something and wanting to, number 11, which is a master number, feeling like, okay, on the fence about something, having some feelings about something. This is how you're going to unlock your potential. Your angels call upon you to think of something that you are scared to do and consider doing it. It's time to have confidence in the parts of yourself you feel are weak. And there is supportive angelic energy on your side. So reflect on what you feel you can't get because of lack of confidence in life, asking for a raise. Y'all see me shuffling the cards. I'm telling y'all, it was just coming to me because I'm like, somebody, you're asking for a raise, making a friendship closer, taking that new class, time to go for it is now. It was just coming through. It was coming through heavy for me. I was like, somebody scared to ask for a raise, somebody afraid to ask for a job, somebody needs money or something, some kind of physical existence of things. Somebody's stuck. Somebody's afraid to like strike up a conversation because maybe you were judged in the past, right? Remember, the judgment card is still retrograde. That's Pluto, right? But there's ways of, and remember, water is creativity. So maybe in the past you were around the wrong group of people that judged you or made you feel. Okay, so I had to add some more time to it because I had filmed a lot more to the video. Obviously, you can see I had to edit it. You see a lot more cards here on the table now. So I'm going to kind of do a recap because I did listen back and I was like, whoa, okay, the battery ran out. So let me kind of sort of go back, recap here. So what I said in your video is we talked about your inner power and unlocking your potential. So some things were done behind uh, yours and someone else's back, um, separated you and someone else, looks like. And it looks like because of your spiritual gifts, looks like because of spiritual gifts, right? But what happened, and what I used was what the enemy meant for evil, source turned it around for your good and someone else's good to build confidence, right? And it looks like when you could have felt powerless, something, a prayer warrior stepped in and started praying. And now you're free from something. You're getting a message that you're free. You feel more powerful. Something happened, like in terms, you know, your worth, you know, your value. Anything that was made to make, like, taken away from you to make you feel powerless. That, again, whatever the enemy meant for evil, you're not calling a person the enemy. The enemy was within, right? Whatever energy was meant to, you know, hurt you, and whatever the case may be, whoever you are. An example I may have gave was like in terms of somebody is getting a raise or some kind of increase or whatever at work. Looking at your cards here, something really built someone's confidence. You were able to take advantage of all four elements. Something had to move your physical water, like your physical water. Water is shaped and guided by the earth that holds and surrounds us. So source had to geographically move somebody, right? So there's always a method to whatever madness. Something about your energy, this color orange right here connects us with um, however source had to physically get you away from something. However, source had to physically, if you go back to your memory right here, something could have almost gave you a nervous breakdown. Something had to physically get you away from something, right? Your car could have broken down. Somebody could have broken into somebody's house. It's almost like source had to get somebody 999 messages of get away from a place, get away from the job, get away from this person, place, or thing. Get away. I got exactly what you need that's going to get you to your north node, right? I'm trying to give you every message under the sun. Go apply for the job. Your person is where you need. I got everything. Your north node is here, wherever it is. Um, but something had to get some fire up under somebody to get to, like, when you think about getting to your north node, sometimes it's a blowtorch moment where something feels like, okay, it's some kind of action that almost forces you to take some kind of action. But then when you get there, you're like, oh, okay, now you get the message. Now, okay, this is why, this is why something happened. Now it makes sense as to why something happened. Like something had to come full circle. This is why something had to happen. So looking at your cards here, again, what the enemy meant for evil, source had to turn it around for your good. I'm going to bring this back around to somebody possibly getting promoted. Because I'm seeing here, like if you saw it earlier when I started out the reading in your cards, and I'm going to go back to the questions here for the moon in Gemini. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, the messenger and the communication planet. Source is trying to get somebody to be more comfortable and confidently asking for things, speaking up. That's what Source is trying to do, like not getting stuck and making some kind of move before you while you're scared to do something where you're almost forced to speak up, right? Like when somebody have to thrust you out on stage, like where it's just sink or swim time, where people have to do something shady to you or hurt you, or like, something that's forcing you to do something. What I mentioned earlier in the reading, and if this is redundant, please forgive me, but the what I mentioned earlier, and reason why I had to edit the video, so I hope I'm not repeating myself, but I saw before I even pulled this card out right here that in your creativity, because somebody's very creative, what may have scared somebody before is telling somebody about yours or someone else's spiritual gifts. The other side of the Hierophant card is High Priestess. Maybe you told somebody about somebody's High Priestess gifts and you were talked about behind your back, and they may have stopped you from even telling people about gifts. It may have, somebody may have put you in the spotlight, and it may have just turned you, like to say, okay, I'm never telling people about that again. Something was done behind someone's back, possibly in court, to make somebody look like they were mentally ill or crazy or feeble-minded or something. Make somebody look like they were a fool, or make you look like a fool, or whatever. So never doing that again. But you're grateful for everything because something is coming full circle for you, because now somebody's starting to see the method in the madness. Okay, source need to get me somewhere. So in other words, you're saying, okay, I prayed to be in a creative space. If something is starting to come together, something is starting to click, right? What I mentioned was your confidence level is also building simultaneously, right? So that's also in speaking up, right? So you are speaking up, other people are speaking up, because people also who have high priestess gifts are also speaking up, becoming more confident, right? And what they know, because people have spoken up and shared things with them. So things are coming up, People are also getting out the house, getting grounded, getting fresh air, being near water, speaking up, talking to people who are genuinely, like I said, compassionate towards situations, right? Not people who are pretending to be compassionate towards situations. People who are come from like who are built strong. They have foundations too. They are connected to people as well. Have strong connections as well. Who are also familiar with some kind of lie that was told, right? Sources say to you, as far as like a promotion, let's say you want a promotion, you want more money or something. Somebody is going to start now, because now you're in a different environment. You could be on a different job. You can even be on a different floor. That's a different environment, totally different environment. You work for a different kind of manager, right? Somebody's now creatively praying first. This is I am praying first, asking source, how can I bring up a conversation around gemstones and crystals, right? You're not going to just dive right into tarot. Oh, I watch tarot. Do you? No. You're creatively thinking, okay, I'm pouring into myself. I may be a little nervous to bring up gemstones and crystals or something like that. Maybe you notice somebody's wearing a diamond ring. Okay. You may say, oh, do you know that the diamond ring also connects with the crown chakra because you've done the research the night before? Maybe somebody's wearing an amethyst necklace or something, or a garnet, or maybe somebody's wearing emerald something. Oh, did you know? Because you're striking up the conversation. This is what I'm mentioning here. You are striking up the conversation. Did you know? because you've done the work. This right here, you prayed about it first, and you're bringing up, did you know? Right? Oh, no, I didn't know that. Yeah. And then while you're on it, birth chart. Somebody, and did you know the 10th house or, North Node, your birth chart can also help you with finding out career choices. That's how I found this career. That's how I found my job, right? Or this career, whatever. Your manager could actually be in the wrong career, and you sharing that information could help them on their journey making their choice. And they go home and they pull their birth chart and say, oh my gosh, I'm in the wrong career. Now I know why I've always been drawn to doing this, that, and the other. To which source has already qualified you and them, right? So you could have been on a job where your manager saw you as competition because everything just flows so easy for you because that's what you were called to do. Source qualified you before you even came out of the womb. And for them, they struggling at something because they not even in their calling. They weren't even called to do it, if that makes any sense. You bringing that information to them could have helped them. You're not their God, right? Like I always say in my readings, I'm not anybody's God. But at the same time, you leading people to water, you can't force them to drink it. You're just saying, hey, this is some information. You're pouring into somebody. What they do with the information is up to them, right? You don't have to be shady about it. None of that. You're just pouring into people. And that's it. You're going about your business. Right? You're a person who wears your heart outside of your well, you heard the term wear your heart out of your sleeve in a very meek way. You share the information and just move on. You share the information and move on. Somebody was trying to put you in trying to put you in survival mode. They wanted you to be all wild out here, wilding out, and shady as they are, they want to contaminate you. That's just not who you are. Whoever you are, you're just not that person. Right? Is the Eight of Swords here. That's why Swords had to physically get you away from something. Yeah, that's just not who you are. That's why people started assassinating yours and somebody else's character. Somebody wanted to be, somebody wanted to be as creative as you are. Two energies wanted to be as creative as you are, but they wanted you to pay for that. They wanted some kind of that to come with a cost. So you have some kind of a story, basically like, okay, this person has gone through this and that. They wanted to create a story that was not a truth. That was not a truth. So yeah, here's the Wheel of Fortune. So you're very fortunate to be in your North Node. Source had to get you away from being stuck in this confusion, in a state of confusion. Source had to get somebody out of this state of confusion. You're a very creative energy. Creative energies, whether you are, and I'm only saying music because I'm saying a music note here, and that's it. You could be a painter, you could be a mechanic, you could be a writer, you could create cards like tarot cards or oracle cards or whatever. You could be a reader, creator, create whatever, right? But source, when you're stuck, first thing you're doing is going within because all the answers are within. But you got to first, like I said, get outside, cleanse all. That's the sunbathing, cleanse all of that confusion off of you. Your earth sign, get outside and do some grounding. Get it from around energy vampires, just draining, draining, draining. But something had almost threatened somebody's freedom before somebody made some kind of a move. Freedom of being able to drive again. So, like I said, somebody could have gotten locked out of their house. Job could have been threatened to lose their job. Y'all know how some companies may have like a furlough or something, and you don't know when you're gonna go back to work. Anything could have happened. Um, Somebody's car could have broken down and somebody didn't have the money to pay for the car. Stuff like that, like extreme stuff before somebody moves, like makes a move. Source is saying, Source is trying to break somebody out of that, like really break somebody out of that. So that's what somebody had to work on. So that's who you're going to, Source. That's through prayer. Yeah, a human is not going to bully you into that and then turn around and use your words against you. Source is in a loving way helping you with that. Yeah. So you're ending this, these came out in reverse. You're ending relationships with energies who feel like they gotta bully you into, like, by playing mind games. These two cards came out in reverse. Yes, you're ending relationships with energies who almost got to belittle you or belittle other people by making them think they're not smart enough. They can't think for themselves. Somebody just need to get out in the fresh air and think for themselves, right? Anybody who tries to make you think you're not smart enough or try to make other people think they're not smart or educated enough, somebody need to be out in their element. You're an earth sign. Yeah. Connect with your ancestors. Somebody is incredibly smart. Yeah. You just need to connect with your ancestors. A lot of people are waking up to their ancestors' gifts, the gifts that you inherited from both sides of your family. And I'm telling you, it's not a competition. A lot of people have inherited gifts from your mom and dad's side of the family. And somebody, I'm telling you, you hit the jackpot. Whoever your parents are, you inherited gifts from both sides of your family, and you hit the jackpot for real. Whoever you are, I don't know who you are, maybe physically and in terms of your gifts, somebody hit the jackpot. That's why your energy is so attractive to so many people, and so many people see you as competition. But that's why it's like Source has somebody has been. I'm telling y'all, Source had to physically move somebody, whether it was out of a department into a new department within the same company, or and that's still a geographical move. But Source had to end something. Source had to force you into a rebirth. Source had to end some relationships for you because somebody was, and let me put a positive spin on, because somebody, you would think, people would think that you were being stubborn or just like somebody was just too scared to make a move. When really somebody is just incredibly patient with people to a point where it would look like you were being stubborn. But see, when people are benefiting from your patience, then you're the most patient person in the world. But when people are not benefiting from your patience, then you see how people act, right? Somebody just has a really, really big heart. And that's really what it is. Somebody just has a really, really big heart. And so just expect that when you do cut people off, you already kind of know, what they're going to say about you behind your back because you've heard them talk about other people behind their back. So it is what it is. Five of Wands. Yeah. Just the people talking about people behind their back, being shady. So it is what it is. And that's what I have for you. So get ready to be promoted. It's already been predicted. So literally somebody has hit the jackpot in terms of spiritual and physical gifts. So somebody is very physically attractive and very spiritually attractive to a lot of people. So you're grateful for it all. Yeah, you're grateful for it all. So the questions for the moon in Gemini is do you feel there's an area of your life in need of radical change, like your work, your relationships, your well-being, or home life? Second question is, what is getting in the way of you changing your story? Third question is, how can you inject more childlike curiosity into your life? And fourth question is, who are the 5 people you could get in touch with who could help you on your journey? Y'all notice the backdrop is different. And I used to have books on there on the table. Some of the books are written by some of the, community, the collective community. But if you go back and watch some of the previous books, go back and watch some of the previous videos, you'll see some of the books on the table. And but some of the books will give you confidence. Like, for instance, you see a lot of major arcana here. So there are books that will tell you like the ages that the solar plexus, sacral chakra, heart chakra, um, root chakra are developed. There are books that will, to speak to all of that, right? And I'm quite sure the authors of the books were challenged as to whether, um, about the solar plexus sacral chakra. It still doesn't stop people from buying their books just because another author may challenge it. That's what people do. That's part of marketing. So, Seven of Swords. Yeah, this is a Seven of Swords. People still assassinate some people's character behind their back. I mean, whatever. But that's not everybody. So looking at your cards here, you're tapping into your inner power and unlocking your own potential. So unlocking your own potential. So very nice. Very, very nice. Yep. Here's the Ten of Cups here. I'm seeing inner happiness for you. I'm seeing inner happiness for you. Yep, inner happiness. Now that something has come to an end. Yeah, your confidence has, so next time somebody's looking for a raise, somebody is going to pray about it first. Somebody's going to think, okay, what kind of confidence, what in my memory, what do I remember, maybe my manager likes to talk about, what did they discuss? Do they feel comfortable? Do I remember them wearing a particular piece of jewelry or whatever that I could talk about? That kind of thing, or do they talk about a particular subject matter? It's just, again, you're just building up your confidence. What inspires them? What inspires them that I can talk about? Not gossip, nothing low vibrational, none of that taking stuff into an office where it's talking about other people, talking about ideas, ideas. Something where expansion, right? That's what's going to get somebody promoted. Not talking about people, but talking about ideas, right? But that's what I'm seeing for you in your cards. Yeah. All right. That's what I have for you. That is what I have for you. Yeah, people are going to assume that you're talking about whomever or whatever. They're going to assume whatever. So that's what familiar spirits do. They don't ask questions. They just assume. So nourish your temple. 3 and 8 is 11. 11 is, again, somebody is getting off the fence. Somebody eating healthier, drinking more water. Yeah, familiar spirits, they just sit back and assume. They get on the phone, call everybody else. Did you see that? Did you? I saw that on social media. Who are they talking about? I mean, did you know? Are you familiar with? Did you know? Such? They just start five of wands. Just start talking amongst them. Don't even know what people are talking about. So right action. Let everything that wants to go go, and everything that wants to come come. You could be complimenting people. They wouldn't know it. You can be giving somebody a compliment. They go right to the physical realm of something. Confusion. All right. Keep your vibrations high. Looking at your cards again. Looking at your cards, you're giving ideas. Keeping your vibrations high. But I do see somebody getting promoted and possibly love coming across somebody's path. Here we have something that's going to feel very much like home for you. Life source. When life comes to a standstill, turn inward and focus on joy and excitement. Your inner light keeps everything alive and moving, right? Pursue happiness. Never apologize for what brings you joy. Only you understand where you truly belong and where you can find a safe space. Follow your bliss. No problem. You're not meant to struggle and fight your way through. Drop the concerns of your ego and watch imaginary walls crumble. You've already won. Yeah, you've already won something. So, energetic pull. A true master knows that you create through your actions. Do not hesitate when you feel the energy pulling you. Follow it fearlessly and move worlds, right? Yeah, if you got to keep explaining yourself, what you meant here, what you meant there, that lets me know that they're connected to something else they're holding on to. This is number 6, the number 6. Something around their health, their work habits, their daily routines, fitness, pets, work, service to others, diet, spiritual practices. They're holding on to some kind of confusion around those things. That they got to nitpick everything. So it's like, no. But that, you got to explain everything all the time. Everything is a conflict. No, do it your way. You were never meant to fit in. You were born to be wild and free, force of nature, here to build new and better worlds. Allow yourself to go and do that. That is what I have for you. That's what I'm seeing for you. And I will see you all in the next video. See you all in the next video. Yep. That's what I have for you. All right. Bye.